Hey y'all, it's your girl Denise Scott. I'm at Tummies and I'm here with Audrey. And so tell everybody where you're from.
Okay, I'm from Brooklyn, New York, and I've been here in Niagara Falls for now 7 years.
Okay. And what made you open up a Spanish restaurant here and we're not known for our Hispanic population?
Well, actually, it was my idea to open up a restaurant, but I didn't even know what we were going to open yet. I had no idea what to do. We started thinking, okay, we open up a restaurant, what are we going to sell? Pizza? No, there's too much pizza going on. Wings and subs? No, that's always the same thing as well, you know.
Especially in our culture.
Okay, why not go with what we know, with what we like, and have everybody like it as well, you know? So it was like an experiment. It was experimental because, like you said, there's not many Spanish people here.
There's not.
And I totally realized that it's not even necessary to have a lot of Spanish people here.
No.
My Black community, my white community is here every day. And they love it. They just love our food.
Now, how long have you guys been up and running here?
We've been up and running for a year and 3 months.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
So you beat that first 1 year in a row.
Well, we did. Yes.
And that's good because typically a lot of businesses within the first year are failing. So that's why there's all these shows about how to save a business. And so you guys kept it very modest. You guys, this is no different than something that you would see in New York City if you walk into any Spanish eatery. The smell is the same. There's always going to be a Puerto Rican flag on the wall.
Yep, or the Dominican.
Or the Dominican. Yeah, and get that one too. But now, whose flag is that?
That's Colombia.
Oh, I know, but I'm just saying same colors as Ecuador. But who's Colombian?
Colombian is my brother's wife.
Okay, so she wanted to represent her spot.
Oh, yes.
So they're not all Puerto Rican, but what I always tell people is that when you come from a certain Hispanic, from that culture, it's very different because everybody recognizes everybody. You know, there's like tiers to it. You know, the Puerto Ricans think they're the best because, you know, we're not Puerto Rican, we're American, and the Colombians are like, yeah, but check our airplanes out, what goes in it, you know what I'm saying? So, one of the things that is very endearing to me is the fact that the process of everything is so streamlined. It's family. It's everything that you would see in somebody's grandmother's kitchen in New York, in Miami, in California. So even if it was Mexican, it's always an assembly line. There's always a process. Nobody gets up and just says, "I'm gonna go make some chicken," and expect to eat it that day because you have to season it and you have to overnight make sure that everything's good. Right now I got some steaks in my fridge. I made the marinade this morning. I didn't have any sofrito. Which sofrito, what we talked about, is one of the things, but they make everything from scratch. The only thing they didn't make, if you had to make that tortilla like that,
we don't have the equipment to make it.
Well, it's ridiculous.
Yeah,
it's one of those things that would cuts a day off the time because you have to make them fresh, and if it's not fresh and if it's not a certain consistency, it's horrible. Exactly. But they have an assembly line of things going on. When you get the pasteles, when you get the pastelitos, they're all freshly made. These are not, empanadas that you're buying off a truck. Or, when you go into the beef patty section, in your supermarket, these are not like that. Everything here is fresh. And so is there anything else you want to tell the people about your culture, about your cooking, about anything about Niagara Falls?
Well, actually, all I could say is that everybody's more than invited and welcome to come and visit us. Give us a try. All you got to do is give us a try, come here. We will treat you with all the love and respect you deserve.
And you're open 6 days a week?
We're open 6 days a week from 10 to 10, Monday through Thursday, and Fridays and Saturdays we stay till 11.
Wow.
So yeah.
So that means even if you get off work and you can't, I got something. Ladies, if you want to act like you can when you cook, what you do is you come in here,
you get a family dinner.
You get a family dinner, bust it out on the plates. they'll never know. They just come here all the time because the price point is good. You're not talking about going in paying restaurant prices, you know, for something, and you're not going to get a good portion of it.
Exactly.
So, like I said, come see my girl Audrey down here. Get you some little arroz con guandule, bring it home, throw it on the plate.
That's it. That's all.
Kids ate, and it was a labor of love, and it's not processed, and you won't get the diabetes. Thank you.
Thanks.
It has yuca.
Let me take off
change
my
your
mask.
shirt.
And they sound pretty good.
Yeah, because then you can make them at home and you don't have to worry about it. But like for him, you know, he's like half Dominican and then mi madre donde Ecuador. Pero she was over here and she was like, you know, like she was blanquita mujer. I'm like, I don't think so. Back then they would pass and say, oh, I'm this, oh, I'm that. I said, not with that hair, I don't think so. So that's why when I see the flag, I said, that's my mother's colors right there. Yeah. Here. But it's just different because even when I cook for him, some of the things that I cook for him are very Hispanic and he loves it. And it's sad because his side is from Sancho Luperón in La Capital in Dominican Republic. So it's very, but look at him, 100%, he looks 100% Dominican. Yeah, it's like he doesn't speak Spanish. He'll eat all the food.
It's like I was talking to this kid today, and he was listening to me speaking Spanish, and he was like, "Oh, he's Puerto Rican."
Oh, you know
this is so sad. This is so sad because you are Puerto Rican and you don't know nothing, absolutely nothing in Spanish. It's like, no, you should treasure that. You should treasure that because it's two languages. You know, you are Spain. Exactly. And it's so important right now, especially nowadays, to be able to speak more than one language. Even in any business, they want that Spanish. But the problem with New York, and we call it Nueva York, is a lot of the parents there are now saying, you know, I'm not Puerto Rican, I'm American. Exactly. I was born in Manhattan. That doesn't make me feel like I'm less Puerto Rican. Right. You know, because my mother and my father were both Puerto Rican. You know. Right.
And we actually, a girlfriend of mine and I, we actually went out to Puerto Rico. And even just the way that we do food is, you know, that you guys do food there is very different. So, you know, in Spanish culture, you know, the lunch is normally the larger meal, and then the dinner is where you have your ensalada, your sopa, your pan, all those things. And then you're able to have the flan and something more sweet dulce for dessert. And the drinks are very different. You know, his grandmother from Dominican, she would do the piña and the arroz drink, like to make it fat. So it was like the rice with the pineapple and everything is like juicy.
You know what a lot of people be asking me for here, the morir soñando?
Yes.
That is so good, you know. I do not know how to make the morir soñando.
And it's one of those things that it has to be passed down, because if it's not, it's gonna be horrible. And because you don't know what it's supposed to be.
You know, when I was living in New York City, there was this Dominican restaurant that we always used to go every Thursday because they had live music and everything. And it was on Liberty Avenue on Brooklyn.
Okay.
And we used to go there.
Which is completely revamped right now.
I know. Oh my God, no. I went there like 2 years ago. That was the last time I was there, 2 years ago. And everything, it is different, you know. Yes. And I'm glad to see it, you know, because I mean, there's a lot of areas that I didn't cover. But what the parts that I saw are so different and so.
Now, have you seen what the Dominicans are doing with the chorizo? They're cutting the little pieces and putting it in like a big box of plantain, but they're doing like the fried plantain. And a lot of times people think that the plantains are just the fried hard ones, but you do the sweet ones here too.
Oh my God,
those are the ones that the kids like. They're good for you. And at the end of the day, it's not always. And you do the dipping sauce with the fried ones. And a lot of people are not using the dipping sauce. They're eating them like they're chips, and that's why they're probably disgusting in your mind, because you're not using the dip in the proper Puerto Rican or proper Hispanic way to eat them. Now, for the holidays, you're going to do the pernil. Now, what would you charge for something like to do?
Well, you know what? That's something that we still need to cover those
within the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, within the next couple of weeks, like emergency, you know, because we still like we don't know exactly
What the order,
what the order, and we like the catering. We started catering.
That's amazing.
We started catering, so we just want everybody to be happy.
Now, what about, like, are people able to do their own menu? So say, for example, I said, you know, I don't eat pork, so can you do this without the pork? And,
Yes.
you know, can you make this a little sweeter and then a side sauce? You would be able to do that?
We will be able to do pretty much anything.
Okay.
You know, that as long as they pre-order and tell me exactly how they want it.
And for how many people.
Exactly, and that's exactly what they're gonna get.
I think this would be good because I think for pre-ordering, especially for Christmas, per meal takes so long. It's no different than cooking, you know, the turkey or anything else. And actually, if you're on social media, are you on social media, your Twitter or anything like that?
Facebook.
Okay, you got to get on Facebook because on Facebook you'll see all these hashtags per meal. So if people know that they can come here and get that, that takes 90% of the battle out of having to cook for Christmas, having to cook for Three Kings Day, having to cook for any of that.
Los Reyes,
Yeah. So it takes all of that out of having to do that.
We would do it not for Thanksgiving, but we would definitely do it for Christmas and Los Reyes.
Yeah. So, and a lot of people don't know about Three Kings Day.
I know.
You want to
That's
tell them
why.
about Three Kings Day?
Well, los Tres Reyes Magos es la llegada de los Reyes a llevarle los regalos al Señor. Well, I'm saying it in Spanish.
And the three kings. So when you see Jesus, little baby Jesus,
with the three kings on the side,
they celebrate it after Christmas. So right when Kwanzaa kicks in, Three Kings Day kicks in.
Yeah,
and they feast after. Well, his family, you know, mi familia and mi suegra in Dominican Republic, they celebrate the Three Kings Day. So it was never Christmas is the big deal. It was afterwards because they're acknowledging like the three kings that took the baby Jesus to the stars and all these things and the gifts. So the gift is always food. And I think in Spanish culture, I think, you know, you guys stay into the, you know, I feed my family. That's the most important thing that you could do is feed your family. So whereas we as Americans and things like that are throwing gifts at the kids, and, you know, all these different things. For us, it's like if I can get up and cook my son a meal. If I can, you know, I just bought the cube steak the other day with the rice and the gravy and the pepper. He doesn't like the onion and cebolla, but, you know, it makes me feel good that, you know, for us in family style, we want you to go to work full. We want you to be able to function. And so in Spanish culture, a lot of the women, they don't look at it as subservient to be in the kitchen. You know what I mean? Because that's your service that you're doing for your family. You know,
and to make this a little different, in this case, my case, for instance, I'm not the cook.
Yeah, I see that.
I'm not the cook. No.
They know.
No, my husband has always been the cook in the house. Like way before we ever even thought of having a restaurant, he was always the cook.
That's amazing.
It doesn't mean I don't know how to cook.
But it comes from his mother.
Exactly.
That's where it comes from. So it still always comes from the mother.
So yeah, it's like, you know, it's a lot of people be saying, well, who's the cook? And I say, my hubby there, he's the cook. And he is great at it. And I'm good at it too. I mean, I'm not going to...
So you pitch in, so when they do like a large catering order or something like that.
We cook together.
Okay. Now, what I want to try to do, if we can get a shot of, I want to kind of do like
the way we make the pastelillos and stuff.
I want to show you.
Let's go in there. Are you guys making pastelillos?
Yeah.
Look,
perfect.
Up from the table.
This is perfect.
Look, from the table like this.
I'm in pain.
Oh no, no, yeah. Pain.
Yeah, look, I have to wear a patch because I have like a pinched nerve. Okay, look at this.
All right, guys, we're in the kitchen. It looks like baby tacos.
Yeah.
They're like empanada, what the Mexicans call the empanadas. So these are the beef, right?
These are already made, yeah.
Okay.
And this
is with the yuca?
This is how they make them, yeah. This is the process of how they make them.
So they're gonna take the mixture that's here. This looks like the yuca and the
that's
and the beef.
papa. That's potato.
Papa. Okay, potato. So remember I said that the yuca is like a
it's
potato,
like, a papa, yeah.
You know, texture papa, not meaning big papa, meaning papas, like papas fritos, like fried,
like
potatoes,
fries, yeah, potatoes.
So what they're gonna do, and now do you make this yourself?
That we buy it.
Okay, good.
Already made. Yeah, that's
the problem.
Oh, that's the whole process itself.
This is Goya is our friend. Okay? Goya is our friend, And so a lot of times, and now at the International Mall, I just went yesterday, and they have so much stuff. The nectar, all those things
I seen all that. The maca,
This, if you don't know what this is Spanish pickle flowers. They put this in everything. This
and
one is ajo, which is the garlic. Oh yeah. And then you have the sazon. These are little packets, almost like bouillon cubes. So you put this in your meats and things like that. You don't have sofrito, no?
Yeah, we do a homemade sofrito.
Homemade sofrito. It's a little bit different. It's like a consistency of a salsa, but it's not salsa.
This is how we make it.
Yeah, theirs is green. Sometimes it's red, depending on what they put with the tomato,
the kind of peppers
right?
you use and
so
stuff.
this the cilantro and all that other stuff that that people use. But this is where how the chicken becomes moist and everything is good, and you just simmer it down and cook it down. This is old school, so black people have the cast iron. We have the iron pot. Okay, and then they put everything in this. So I mean, when you're putting it in and you're stewing your chicken, just like same things the Jamaican, all island cultures typically have this particular pot, and that's what it is. This is a baby fryer, so this is what you're gonna put your pasteles and their
the pastelillos,
all those things
the
that
French
you
fries,
like. You're gonna put them in here, and the plantanos they put in there. Here, now what are you cooking on here?
We make the hoagies.
Okay.
Yeah, we make the hoagies.
This is not a staple in the Spanish kitchen.
No, it's not. Okay.
You would not see that in the Spanish kitchen. But, so what the gentlemen are doing over here, and how they get, this is old school right here with the fork. So how he's making that on the side. So some people just pinch it, but what they're doing is they're taking the fork to make sure that the meat and everything stays inside when you fry it, because what you don't want is some burnt up meat in your fryer, because that's what's going to happen if you don't seal it up. And so over here they look like little birthday presents. Yeah, they look. And they put them in the paper so that they're able, so you can just
they won't stick together.
Yeah. Right? And so what they're doing here too is they're probably thawing these out organically. And so they use everything in the kitchen just to make sure that everything's done. This is like in an assembly line situation. So they used up the pot of meat. So what typically happens is they probably made that meat, a couple hours ago. Once the meat stewed down, then they put, everything out. And it looked like there was queso. You had a slab of cheese
right
on
there.
Yeah, they put the slab of cheese on it so it looked like a little pocket protector in there. And it's just a process. You roll it over. This is not your tacos. This is not, your empanada stand. But what are you guys using the panko for? For the chicken?
Well, actually, we are going to start using it for some chicken wings.
Oh.
We're going to do seasoned chicken wings.
What about fish?
We can't do fish. I mean, not just yet. We don't have the equipment for the fish. So we would, eventually it's coming.
This is chicken wings.
Yeah.
So you're going to do like the old school Brooklyn chicken wing with the whole little thing on it? Because same. It's not buffalo wings.
No.
They do the whole thing with the drum and then like the little arm like that. So they do the whole, so it's kind of like what you would see like in the Chinese restaurants, but they stole it from the Spanish people.
And not only that, but they're going to taste so much different, because it's not like you grab the wings from a bag and just throw them in a fryer. No. We would put all the sazon, the garlic, the sofrito, everything is going to be there, and it's going to stay there so it could get the flavor. So it's going to be something totally different.
And now, what would you suggest to go? So what will be your #1 seller that we have here? Because I see you have some stuff ready to go. I see the baked chicken and things like that. Well, what will be your best seller here? Like the quarter chicken? Like
the quarter chicken is one best seller, but the chuleta, it's just that it's hard to say. You know why? Because we have different people that love different things. And there's like a lot of people that would love the chicken, like they would come for the pork chops.
Oh,
those pork chops are so famous. It's like everybody comes, they don't want one pork chop in their food, they want 2.
Okay.
Yeah, and that will take over the whole plate, but they want it, So then it's the beef stew.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, the beef stew.
Do you want to show them the beef stew?
Is there any?
I don't know if there's some back on.
So when we were talking about the sancocho, it's a little bit, I mean, it doesn't look like that. The sancocho would have the yuca, it would have the pork, it would have the beef, it would have the chicken. So it's almost like a mishmango. But that right there, that takes a full day to cook. Typically, it takes a full day just to even prepare it, to cook it, to simmer everything down, and then you want to show them the chicken.
That's our rotisserie.
This should look
chicken.
very, very familiar to people that have eaten my cooking. But you see it sitting in there.
Yeah, and it's
All the
it's not
seasonings,
dry.
no,
it's not dry. It's going to be always moist. And the cube steak, that is marinated with garlic, onions, with vinegar. I mean, that all together just gives it a great flavor.
It's a very different flavor. Now I put green pepper in mine just to give it
They
some color.
good
You know what I
too,
mean? With the arroz, with the rice. Now your beans and rice. Do you do the one with the guandule? Do you do the yellow rice, or do you do?
We do the yellow rice. We could either do it with the gandules. We do
Guandules is peas.
Right.
Little peas.
Yeah.
But go ahead.
So they call it pigeon beans. That's how they call them here. Yeah. So anyway, we could do it with the chicken, arroz con pollo. We could make arroz con pollo. We could make arroz con gandules. Like we could only make the veggie rice.
Right. Okay.
You know,
So for people that are vegetarian, you don't necessarily have to get the pollito, the chicken.
Exactly.
You can get just the straight beans and rice, or with the guandule, which is the peas. In addition to that, they can put the different vegetables in there, because sometimes they do that. So they'll throw, like, believe it or not, like a potato and some onion, and you know, the different seasoning in there to make it a meal. So you don't necessarily have to stick with just the typical.
And our beans, we do them from scratch.
You soak them overnight.
Yes, exactly. We do them from scratch. And
that's what I'm saying. There's a lot of prep that goes into this type of work, but I think it's a labor of love.
Yes,
so you want to tell everyone where you're located so they can
Oh,
come
sure.
on down?
Oh, I'll be glad to. Okay, we are located at 2789 Niagara Street, and everybody's more than welcome to come
Niagara Falls,
and
New
visit.
York.
In Niagara Falls, New York.
Not Buffalo. They got their own Spanish people. We can keep this one, right?
Yeah, that's it.
All right, and make sure you guys put in your orders to get your pernil for Christmas, because I'm sure that they're going to need a lot of time to get it done, but you won't be sorry.
Yes, never.
All right, see you guys. It's your girl, Denise Scott.
It was a
Niagara Falls
pleasure.
Street
Thank
News.
you.
Yeah.